Good evening. No one's as ready as I am, Jeremy. Well, what you just said is extremely sad, George. And it's also a reflection of the Florida Gators football program right now. Yeah, there'll be a midday show tomorrow. What's up, mediocre? How many of you have played the new NCAA video game? I have not yet. I don't even have it yet. But I have seen some other people play it. And I'm getting mixed reports here. I realize anytime a game like that comes out that people are always going to find something to complain about. You know, the glitching and whatnot, that happens with new games, you know, until they update it. So that was to be expected. But some of the other stuff I've heard about it from people who play a lot of video games, I mean, I'm not talking about somebody like me who doesn't, is that it's a lot harder. There's something about the controls. It's a lot harder to play than, you know, the game was 10 years ago. I don't know anything about it. That's just what I'm hearing. Matter of fact, I heard it from my co-host, our boy C-Dog. He made a video about it, about how difficult it was compared to the old one, especially kicking and some other things too. The Gators are, the Gators aren't back, George. Have another beer. What's up, Stingray? Yeah, I'm going to get the game probably the end of next week, I think. I'll be out of town for a few days next week, Sunday through Wednesday. When I get back, I'll give it a go. See how it is. Yeah, I talked to Lou about that through text. And I agree with what he's saying. I think that based on the fact that it's a reoccurring problem at the University of Georgia, I mean, it's not like people are getting in trouble. I mean, college kids get in trouble for stuff. I did too when I was that age. It's the fact that it's the same type of violation over and over and over and over again. I think the Kirby needs to send a message and suspend these guys for multiple games. That would be what I would suggest. I don't think he's going to do that. Obviously, he's not going to do that. He's turned it over to the NIL collectives to fine him, which is silly, but Until he starts suspending these guys, you're probably going to see more of it happen. If I was a Georgia fan, listen, let's put it this way. If this were going on at Clemson, it's a similar situation, I would want Dabo to suspend the guys. Need for speed. All right, we'll get the show started here in just a second. I do not have my co-host with me tonight. He did let me know earlier this afternoon that he was not going to be able to make it. I think he's going to some local concert where he lives tonight. So if anybody else wants to come on and run through these. Tonight we're going to do Florida State. Now originally, who do we have originally? Originally we were going to do Wake, Forest, and Duke. But since Sea-Dog is not here, I made the executive decision to change tonight's show to Florida State and Miami. So we'll do Florida State record prediction, and we will do Miami's record prediction. Is this the SEC show? I don't know. Can you read? Does it say the SEC show in the title? Are Florida State and Miami in the SEC now? What's up, Nature Boy? Zona. Also saw some more, if you want to call it, rumors. Boy, man, the rumors with Florida State are just never ending, are they? As far as the ACC and leaving and go somewhere else. But if you start reading the theories about what's going to happen with them, it'll make your head spin. So I don't honestly believe any of it. But there was a report today. I think it might have even been somebody somewhat credible, like Brett McMurphy or something. They was talking about that the SEC said they don't want Florida State because it wouldn't be profitable, which I don't really understand how that would be true. I mean, they could just say they don't want to expand and they don't want Florida State and Clemson. That's fine. I mean, but to say they wouldn't be profitable, I don't buy that. All right, StreamYard is open. I'm going to start the show here in about 30 seconds. We'll get right into these schedules for these two teams. Both teams starting with a different quarterback than they had last year. One is exponentially better than the other. I think we all know that. I'm talking about the quarterback position anyway. What's up, Gutters Pup? Thank you, sir. Everybody could learn from Gutters Pup. Yeah, hit the thumbs up. It's free. And you guys know what I always say. YouTube really cares about that, even if I don't. All right. Let's turn this music off. Get this show rolling here. Man, that was some hardcore stuff there. Anyway, welcome everybody I appreciate you being here. Like I just mentioned a few minutes ago, my co-host C-Dog is not here tonight, so I am rolling solo, bro. If one of you or two of you wants to come on and do this with me, we can do it. Otherwise, it'll be a very quick stream because I'm going to run through these schedules and I'll pick the records on my own. I'm up against a deadline, as they say. We're trying to get all these teams' record predictions done before, well, hopefully before week 0, but definitely before week 1. And we're making good time right now. Now, as far as I know, there won't be an ACC show next week. Like I said, I won't be home next Tuesday, and then I'll be gone on the week after. Well, 2 weeks after that for that Tuesday. So unless C-Dog does a stream or something and does some predictions, which he could do, then we're up against a time crunch here. So with or without C-Dog, they say the show must go on. All right, so let's run through real quick what we already got. If I can find my notes. I'm very professional. What have we got here so far? For those of you who weren't here the past few weeks, we started with North Carolina State. We came up with a very disappointing, if you're a North Carolina fan, 6-6 prediction for them, and an 8-4 prediction for NC State. Although I think the Vegas line on an over/under win total for NC State is 9 wins, I think. So we got pretty close to that. We have them at 8-4. The newcomers to the ACC, SMU, Cal, and Stanford. We had SMU at 6-6, Cal at 4-8, and the worst of the three, Stanford at 2-10, which I think they'll win somewhere between 2 and 4 games. It was hard to find 4 wins on that schedule. Well, it was hard to find 3, obviously, if we came up with 2, but it was really hard to find 4. Then last week we did Virginia Tech and Virginia, the 2 Virginia schools. 8-4 for Virginia Tech, and again, that's another one where the Vegas win total for them was 9. So we got pretty close to that, but we had them at 8. And then, unfortunately for Virginia, another losing season at 4-8. Now, last season, well, actually the last 2 seasons, we did pretty good as a panel, predicting the records for most of the ACC schools, with the exception of Clemson, obviously a disappointing 9-4, a 4-loss season, and also Louisville. We were way off on Louisville. The rest of them, we were pretty darn close. What's up, Jay? All right, let me get my other notes here. And we'll start with Florida State. Obviously losing a lot. Last year, an amazing season. All the way up until they got destroyed by Georgia in the Orange Bowl. For whatever reason you want to believe, whether they didn't show up or they didn't care, it doesn't matter. They got absolutely humiliated in the Orange Bowl by Georgia. But anyway, losing Jordan Travis, a generational talent, probably the best quarterback they've had not probably, it is the best quarterback they've had in a long time. And a couple of the receivers, Keon Coleman, and some other guys here. Welcome to the show, sir.
What up?
We got Talkus Pitt on the line here.
What's up, man?
What's up, brother? I haven't talked to you in a while. How you doing?
I'm actually doing pretty good. It was hard for me to do any content after Golden Blue Dude passed away, and then when my friend Dale passed away, who was a West Virginia fan, it made it even more difficult because now I have nobody to talk shit to.
Well, there's plenty of West Virginia fans on YouTube.
Most of them are stupid.
Well, that makes it even easier to talk shit to them, doesn't it?
Yeah, but every now and again, I like to have an intelligent conversation.
I got you. Well, anyway, I'm glad you're here. I'm just going through a little bit of a precursor before I get into this record prediction here with Florida State. So, the losing Jordan Travis and all those guys. Now, look, Florida State's done very good in the transfer portal. And they've done okay in recruiting. What was their recruiting last year? They finished Where did they finish last year?
I don't. My notes are
11th, I think. He was either 11th or 12th in the country. So not bad, a top 15 class. But really, where they shine right now is in the transfer portal, and the most big name worthy transfer they got this offseason is obviously former Clemson quarterback and former Oregon State quarterback DJ Uiagalelei. And if I were a Florida State fan, I'd be a little bit worried about it. First of all, it's a huge step down from Jordan Travis, and most likely anybody they got would probably be that this year. But, I mean, people don't realize DJ started at Clemson for 2 years. He was worse his second year starting, statistically, a lot worse than he was his first year starting. Then when he goes to Oregon State, he had almost identical numbers to what he had his second year at Clemson. So, look, good luck, I guess. I don't know what they really expect out of him. I mean, I think they want to be optimistic because, you know, of the season they had last year, and that they want to tell themselves that DJ just didn't have good coaching at Clemson there, and maybe he just didn't have good coaching or good players around him at Oregon State, and they're going to fix all those problems. I think we've seen enough from him at this point to know exactly who he is. The best that they can hope for, as far as DJ is concerned, is that he doesn't lose them games. He's an interception machine. He has been every year he started anywhere he's at. And there's some pretty good defenses in the ACC they're going to be facing this year, and otherwise. So,
yeah.
But they are ranked. They were ranked 7th in the transfer rankings last year. So that, like I said, they're doing better in the transfer portal than they are actually recruiting. But nonetheless, they are a very talented team. They have a chip on their shoulder from last year with being left out of the playoffs, that whole thing. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't think, after saying all that, I don't think that Florida State is a bad team by any stretch of the imagination. I think they're going to do very well this year. But how well will they actually do? Let's pull it up and give our opinions here. We'll go through this game by game. And we have 2 people here, so if there's a tie, we might get the chat to help us break the tie so we can get an official prediction here. They start out the season August 24th, which is week 0, in Ireland against the mighty Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. I'm going to let you go first on this one.
DJ's the biggest question mark to me about Florida State. If Florida State were to lose this game, it would be because of him. So I'll pick Florida State to win this, but only by 7.
Okay. I'm giving an unconventional take here. First of all, I think Florida State is clearly more talented on both sides of the ball. There is no home field advantage. Both of them have to travel across the pond and play in a different time zone and different part of the world. But the hype around it will be legit because it's going to be, you know, a nationally watched game because there's no other games on August 24th at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So, but Georgia Tech's returning a pretty good quarterback, I think. And Florida State is starting out with not a new quarterback, but a new quarterback for Mike Norvell and his system. And for that reason and that reason only, I'm going to take Georgia Tech in overtime with a late field goal. So we tied on that. So we need the chat to help us out here. Pete picked Georgia Tech, and Talk is picked Florida State. So type away in the chat who you take, and I'll add them up here.
You're not live on here, so I can't see the comments.
Yeah, I'm not live on StreamYard. I'm on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Florida State's going to lose. Georgia Tech wins. Florida State wins over Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech.
Wow, a lot of GTs.
Yeah, a lot of people think Georgia Tech is going to win this, and I upset them, and I think that might be the case.
Oh, I'm not saying it isn't, because I mean, if people paid attention to my response, it was very like I know there's a good chance that this could end up as an upset, just like Georgia Tech and Miami last year.
So it looks like the majority of the people, Ultra Mag Dog says nerds. That's the code for Georgia Tech. It looks like the majority of them say Georgia Tech. So we're going to go with that. An upset week one for the Seminoles after losing some key players on offense. All right, moving on. Boston College at Florida State, September the 2nd. So it looks like they get, what is that? 9 days between those two games because they're traveling across the world. Look, we haven't done Boston College prediction yet. And I understand they got a new coach and everyone's all excited about it. I think that it's going to take them a couple of years to get that thing to where they're decent. Give me Florida State at home after the disappointing loss to Georgia Tech.
I'll pick Florida State as well. I mean, look, Boston College had a very, very I don't want to say a very good offense, but they had a good offense. They, if I'm not mistaken, may have been number 1 or 2 as far as rushing yards per game went. And they do return their quarterback, Castellanos, and they return their whole entire offense, actually. They actually, if I'm not mistaken, Boston College returns more than most ACC teams do. But with that being said, they failed to beat us last year, so I'm picking Florida State.
Damn, and Pitt was terrible last year. You're right. That's a good point. Yeah. All right, so we have them at 1-1 after 2 games. Memphis at Florida State, so back-to-back, actually, because there's going to be 3 straight home games here for Florida State after they go to Ireland. Memphis at Florida State, this is a big, fat win for look, Memphis is a very good Group of 5 team, but I think at the end of the day, traveling down to Tallahassee, it's just going to be too much for them to handle. This be 2 scores or more, a big win for Florida State.
Same here, 2 scores or more. This is not even going to be close or even fun to watch.
Yes, sir. All right, a new member to the ACC, and not a very good football team right now, actually. Cal has to travel all the way to, about as far away as you can get from Cal in the United States to Florida State. Cal, no good. Easy win for the Noles.
Easy.
It's pretty sad that so far after 4 weeks, the best team on their schedule is Georgia Tech. No offense to Georgia Tech, but I mean, you know. So after the 3-game home stretch, they travel to the SMU Mustangs. Who you got there? A lot of people are high on SMU and thinking they're going to win a lot more games than I think they're going to win. And it's not that I think that SMU is a bad team, because I think they're pretty good. They have a good quarterback. They can actually score. But here's the thing. Anytime you see these teams make a jump up from the Group of 5 to the Power 5, there's always a little bit of a lag there. It's just not the same competition week in and week out. I don't care what you think about the ACC. But most of the teams in the ACC are smoke any Group of 5 team. So give me Florida State here, even though it's on the road.
Florida State. Look, I know a lot of people are high on SMU, and shout out to the SMU fans that follow me on Twitter and my YouTube page. You guys are the utmost respectful fans that I've dealt with. You're also the most delusional. I'm sorry, if you guys think you're going to come in and win the ACC the first year, you're smoking crack. It's not going to happen. You're losing this game. I
wish I could get, hopefully during the season, when I'm doing my live streams and my live call-in shows and stuff, I can get some SMU fans to come on. I don't think I've ever seen one on here before, honestly.
I can get you a couple.
Yeah, that'd be good. I want to hear some SMU trash talk. That's something I've never heard before.
They trash talk the Big 12 more than they do anybody else.
Yeah. So anyway, welcome to the ACC, but it's going to be a rough first year for you. And when I say rough, what did I say I had them at? 6-6. Look, if you make the jump from the Group of 5 to the Power 5 and you win 6 games or 7 games or more your first season, I consider that to be good. So,
yeah, that's a success.
Fan smuggling,
especially after you failed to beat an ACC team in a bowl game.
That's a fact. All right, so after 5 games, we've got the Noles at respectable 4-1. Then we have the revenge game from last year. Of course, this is a rivalry. I mean, they've been playing each other every season for a long time, and that's going to continue. Clemson last year the worst Clemson team in what, 10 years? 10 years or so. And this game still went to extra time. And it was a heartbreaking loss at home for the Tigers, and they went on to lose several games after that. That game really hurt the Tigers and their confidence, I think. I think Clemson is better this year. They return almost everybody on offense. They lost Shipley, but they still have Maffa in the backfield. But everybody else, the receiver core is better and healthier. Well, hold on, knock on wood. Right now, we have 10 scholarship receivers, and none of them are hurt. But I don't want to jinx them. So anyway, having said all that, the fact that even though Florida State was massively more talented, especially at the quarterback position and the receiver position last season, Clemson still took them down to extra time. I think Clemson gets a revenge in a close one here.
Yeah. A lot of weird things happened to you guys last year. I think the biggest was the South Carolina game. But I still think Florida State, or not Clemson, Florida State is a lot better, even with the loss of a lot of their playmakers, because they recruit well. They still produce NFL caliber talent. So I'm going to take them in this game.
Who's that? Florida State?
Yeah, I'm going to take Florida State.
Okay, what do you think, chat? We need a tiebreaker here. And Brett Rockamore, I don't want to butcher your name. I think it's pronounced Rockamore or Rockamore. He's talking about Clemson's defense. Yeah, Clemson's defense is going to be the real deal. I'd say they're probably a top five, definitely a top 10 defense nationally, but maybe even top 5. And of course you have all of the off the field stuff about this game. With DJ being a former Clemson player and all of that. So. The coaches at Clemson definitely know DJ's tendencies because they coached him for 2 years or 3 years, actually.
Yeah.
So we got Florida State beats Clemson. Clemson's going to win. Clemson better win.
The biggest problem is I don't know if I am the only one who sees this. The biggest problem is when Klubnik gets into high pressure situations, he doesn't make the best decisions.
Oh no, I'm 100% with you. Look, I got 1 foot in and 1 foot out on Klubnik. I mean, last year was a complete disaster. He was a turnover machine. He wasn't listening to what the coaches were telling him to do at the end of games and just going rogue. And I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, and I probably should know by this time of the season when they play Florida State if he's going to be what we hope he's going to be or not. But look, this goes the same way. I was talking about DJ earlier, and I said all that Florida State really needs is for DJ not to lose games for him, and as opposed to winning games for him. And I kind of feel the same way about Cade Klubnik, honestly. So
yeah, same here. That's the way I feel. That's why I said Florida State's season relies on DJ.
Yeah. I see Slim's in here. I don't know if Slim, if you want to come on with us, but I haven't done Miami yet. We're going to do that one next. I know he's going to have some opinions on that, and he is a Miami fan. So,
yep.
So we got. I think the chat. Most of them said Clemson. It's close.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll give Clemson the win there. So that's a loss for Florida State. That one 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 for the Noles after 6 games. All right, then Florida State travels to Duke on October the 18th. I find it funny they've already set a game time for this at night. I don't know why, what the reason behind that is. But anyway, another team that lost their quarterback. Duke lost their quarterback to Notre Dame, right? And then and they have a new coach, Manny Diaz. They also lost a big chunk of their defense. And their defense last year was actually very good. So
it was great.
I think this is not going to – I don't think – well, first of all, I think Duke's going to be a kind of a mess this year.
Yeah.
So Florida State big.
Florida State by 3 touchdowns.
I thought you were going to say by 3 points.
No. 3 touchdowns. I mean, Duke lost – almost everybody on defense. They depleted half their offense. I think the only players they return is maybe 2 or 3 linemen in one skilled position. So give me FSU by 3. touchdowns.
I don't think DJ is capable of beating any team by 3 touchdowns.
Really?
No.
I don't know about that, man. I might say that about most of the teams on their schedule, but not Duke.
Oh, he did fail to beat Pitt that one time he came to Heinz Field.
But having said that, I mean, who would you pick in the game, Slim? Would you still pick Florida State to win the game?
Florida State should win the game, but I think it's going to be closer than that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a rout.
Yeah.
And of course, at this point in the season, I mean, we're at what, week 7 now? I mean, this is when you start having 1 or 2 key injuries to either team could make a huge difference. Who is the backup quarterback at Florida State? I have no idea.
Crap. A Florida State fan just told me on Twitter before I came here.
Whoever played in the bowl game, their third string.
Yeah, that was. Right. That's what I'm trying to think.
Yeah, whoever played in the bowl game and got his head knocked off, almost for real.
I mean, that's all they've got is whoever their third stringer was last year and DJ.
And whoever I don't know, they probably have some freshmen that they recruited, maybe. I don't know.
So if DJ goes down, there's their whole season.
I don't know. I know Mike Norvell in like his first 2 years there without recruiting a quarterback. It was weird.
Yeah, that is weird, isn't it?
It is.
Boy, and I'm really actually kind of interested to see how they're going to try to use DJ. At Oregon State, they used him more as a runner than as a passer. And he still threw a fair amount of interceptions. I think, what did he throw? I got it in my notes here. I think he threw something, Oregon State, 2,600 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. So, and that's almost identical to what he did at Clemson the year before. So,
I mean, 21 to 7 is not a bad ratio.
It's not.
Yeah.
At the same, it's not going to win you the big games you need them to.
Compare, and I don't know if you heard the beginning of the show, Slim, but I made the statement between Miami and Florida State, the 2 teams we're talking about tonight. I mean, Miami's quarterback is 10 times better than DJ, statistically anyway. I mean, here's Cam Ward's numbers last year: 3,700 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's not even really close. But like I said, DJ was more of a runner at Oregon State than he was a passer. That's why
Cam Ward the same thing. Isn't he a runner as well?
Well, he's a true dual threat. I don't know that you can consider DJ a true dual threat because I don't think he's that great of a passer.
I don't think he's that great of a runner.
I mean, Cam Ward put almost 3,800 passing yards up. I'd say that's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
he's coming from Washington State, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So a loss there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3. No. 4 and 2. 4 and 3 now. That would be back to
4 and 3.
No, 5 and 3.
Okay.
No, 5 and 2.
Now I'm confused.
I forgot. I got it now. Yeah, a win for Florida State, so it'll be 5 and 2. All right. Now here's the big one. Florida State at Miami, October the 26th.
Miami.
I'm going to make this easy because I know what Slim's going to say, so it would come down to me, but I'm going to agree with it. It's going to be unanimous here.
Miami.
Yeah, Miami in a close one. I still think the game's going to be close.
I understand why you're saying that.
I call that every year.
Yeah, because of the rivalry and that it's always close. Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah.
Who returns more production, Miami or Florida State?
Yeah, well, that's kind of obvious.
Well, I haven't gotten to Miami or Florida State yet as far as my schedule predictions go, so I'm kind of running on a limb here.
Well, Mike Norvell lost most of his mercenaries before the bowl game.
So now we are at 5 and 3. I think I don't know there's much else to say about that game other than the fact that it is a rivalry, like Slim said, and it'll probably be close. I just think that even if all things else are equal, which I don't think they are, I think Miami has a better defense than Florida State probably too, and a better quarterback. So, I mean.
Yeah. A better running back too. And I like Florida State's running back, but, I mean, Mark Fletcher still averaged 7 yards a carry last year, and you brought in Damian Martinez.
Yeah, I think Miami's offense is going to be legit.
Yeah.
All right, so North Carolina at Florida State. We already did the North Carolina prediction, and I already know I picked Florida State to win this game. And we only had North Carolina winning, 6 games? And this wasn't one of them. So I think they're going to be bad, North Carolina.
Yeah, I think that's being pretty fair to North Carolina, too, to say they win 6. It could be under that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I know we looked it up. We looked up all the win totals, and I can't memorize all of them, but it was somewhere around that. It was like 6 or 7 or something. So, does anybody
was worse?
Is anybody picking North Carolina in this game?
No.
Okay. This should be a good one here. Now I'm higher on Notre Dame probably than maybe some of you are. I don't know where you stand on Notre Dame this year, but I think they're going to be pretty good. And this game is in South Bend. Florida State fans, you might want to put your hands over your ears for this one here, because I think you're about to take another L here in South Bend.
They are. It's a loss.
I think Slim's. You picking the Irish, Slim?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not as high on Notre Dame as you, but I don't think they're a bad team by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
The only thing that worries me about Notre Dame, especially offensively this year, is I think they're going to be way too one-dimensional.
One-dimensional is which dimension? Passing?
No. Is anybody out there afraid of Riley Leonard's arm?
No, I mean, he's a hell of a runner. You're right. And they have a good running back room.
Yeah. And, I mean, even Sam Hartman couldn't make their wide receiver room look good.
That whole thing was weird. That was another big surprise of last season as far as I thought he was going to do a lot better than he did.
I did, too.
Yeah. I think most people did.
That's the only thing that worries me about Notre Dame is especially that late in the season, if you're going to be as one-dimensional as I think they're going to be, how banged up are people?
Riley Leonard also got injured halfway through the season, too. He was playing on a bum ankle, and then I think he made it worse, and then he had to sit out the rest of the season. So, I mean, he's injury prone. That's also the biggest problem.
Well, he had to have surgery, I think.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing. Notre Dame has taken 2 former ACC quarterbacks in a row. So, I mean, how good is their offense going to be? Because now that quarterback has to learn a completely new offense.
Yeah, so I think we all have Notre Dame winning that one.
Yeah.
These last 2, I think, are pretty easy for me anyway. I'm giving 2 wins in a row. Charleston Southern, I mean, Florida State probably rests their starters for that game. I mean, that's just I don't know why you'd play your starters in that game. Leading into the last game of the year against an in-state rival, against Florida. Having said that, Florida's going to be a dumpster fire too, in my opinion. So.
Oh yeah, they'll be well into give-up mode by then.
Yeah. Well, they might not even have a coach by then. That's a whole different conversation. I don't know. Some people, I think you're in the camp that you think that he's got another year no matter what. I'm not so sure that's true.
Well, yeah. I'm just looking at it from an AD perspective. They're still paying Dan Mullen, and you would have to buy out Napier and then pay whoever you hire. I wouldn't want to be paying 3 coaches at once.
Ed D in the chat says Florida State's not losing 3 games. Well, you're right. We've got them losing 4, so you're right about that. I don't know. I could see easily 9-3 for them. I think their ceiling would be 10-2. They'd have to win a couple of games that I don't think they're going to win. And their floor is probably 8-4. I don't see them losing less than that. Who's got the static going on? Is that you, Pitt?
Oh, no, I have my headphones in.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It usually gives me more problems whenever I have my headphones in or out.
Oh.
So that's why I have them in.
Okay. Well, it's okay right this minute. So. All right, so there it is, the official ACC show prediction, 8-4. Like I said, I don't think Florida State's a terrible team. The way that they're, well, the week 1 matchup against Georgia Tech, I think, is huge for them. I know that's blasphemy to a Florida State fan, but
yeah, that's going to kind of be a much like the Miami-Florida game. I think it's going to be a tone setter for their season.
Yeah, and the game, the tone setter for the season. Also, the Clemson game is a game they could actually possibly very easily win, or not easily, but possibly win. That would be if they beat Georgia Tech and Clemson. Now they're all of a sudden at 10-2 instead of 8-4 on this list. So I mean, it's entirely possible.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to see that just for the memes. I mean, the internet would be absolutely fun if DJ beats Clemson.
Well, it wouldn't be fun for me, but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, it wouldn't be fun for you.
Well, let's put it this way:
loses every game.
If Florida State does beat Clemson again this year, it won't be because of DJ. I'm pretty certain about that.
Yeah, you guys know him too well, and I mean way too well.
Yeah.
Unless they taught him something new, which I highly doubt it because his skill set is limited.
We did pick Georgia Tech to upset Florida State week 1. Yes, we did, sir. Obviously, that's an upset, so take it for what it's worth. All right. Moving on to Miami. Another team bringing in a new quarterback. Where's my Miami notes here? They ran Tyler Van Dyke out on a rail at the end of the season. Where did he end up?
He's at Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. I don't know. I was about to say Kentucky for some reason.
That was the guy that transferred out of Georgia, whichever one, Gunnar Stockton, I think.
Yeah, that's right. All in all, a very disappointing season for Miami last year. 7-6 overall, 3-5 in the conference. Just not very good. But then they redeemed themselves, went out. They had a good recruiting class, top 10 class last year. They're on track right now to have another top 5 or 10 class this year. They've done well in the transfer portal. Their best transfer player is the quarterback, in my opinion. Would you agree with that statement? Is the best transfer player this year Cam Ward for Miami?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. The next closest one would be Martinez.
Cam Ward, great season last year. And so let's get into it. Miami at Florida. So when's the last time you guys played each other?
2019.
2019. It's a shame that game doesn't happen every year. I understand why it doesn't, schedule-wise.
I don't. To me, there's no excuse not to play that game every year.
So you want to play?
Rival.
Would you be willing to play 11 Power 5 schools just to play Florida?
Yes.
That's I respect that. I don't know if it's good for Miami's record, year in and year out, but.
I said the same thing about West Virginia. I'd give up all our out-of-conference to keep that game alive.
Yeah. He's still stuck on the Georgia Tech thing. Yeah, we know that you beat him 45-17. You'll have to rewind and hear our reasoning behind why we picked the upset there. And I always try to pick at least one upset in these predictions anyway, and that's the one I picked. But anyway. All right. I'm going to let the Miami man go first here.
I think we're going to beat Florida in a game that's going to be closer than it probably has any business being. But I'd be hypocritical if I didn't, because I had a lot of questions about Florida State and transfers coming in, gelling immediately, and whatever you think of the transfers Miami brought in, all the practice they've done together is great, but none of them taking a snap in a Miami uniform. But I do still think they beat Florida. I think Florida's going to be that bad.
I have to agree with you there.
Same.
All right. Big win for the Hurricanes to start the season against one of their in-state rivals. Florida A&M at Miami. This is easy.
Yeah, easy win.
That's an easy win.
Easy.
I think everybody in a Miami uniform will get snaps in that game.
And Ed wants to know, am I putting money on the Georgia Tech and Florida State game? Yes, I am. I will. Do you not know how much of a degenerate I am, sir? Of course I'm going to. I mean, but I'm going to take the points, whatever they are. I'm not stupid. So I won't bet Georgia Tech on the money line or anything. Ball State at Miami. There's another big, easy win here.
Yeah.
You got to, I mean, I know Florida State's a big name and all, but so far, these first 4 games, you should sail through them, really.
We should, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to pick up Ball State last minute because when they rearranged everybody's schedule, when they added those 3 teams to the conference, they dropped Notre Dame off of us for this year, so we had to scramble and find somebody.
Jeez.
Yeah, Ball State win for Miami. Then they travel to South Florida. I mean, that's almost as bad as having to travel, across the entire country to Cal or something. You got to go all the way to South Florida from Miami. In a hostile environment.
Yeah. and Raymond James Stadium, matter of fact.
Oh, is it really there?
Yeah, they haven't opened. I don't think they're done building their stadium.
Yeah, I know they're building a stadium. I didn't know if it was this year or next year or what.
I think it's next, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah. Actually, I saw some pictures of well, at least the concept, and it actually looks like a pretty decent stadium.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, big win. Another one, easy win for the Hurricanes. Now we're getting into a little bit more difficult type of games here, I think. Everyone's high on Virginia Tech this year. I think you're one of the people that's high on Virginia Tech this year, aren't you?
I am. I think they're going to play spoiler to somebody. But spoiler, it ain't going to be this week.
Yeah. I just got done saying I got to pick an upset for every team, and I tried to anyway. So I got to choose between Virginia because I think Miami will be favored in the game. I'm gonna have to.
I've got us losing a game that would be an upset, but it just ain't this one.
All right, I got to pick between Virginia Tech and Lousville for the upset here, and I think I'm just for. I'm going to take.
If this was in Blacksburg, I'd probably lean this game.
Yeah, you know what? You just convinced me. You just convinced me.
It's not in Blacksburg?
No, it's in Miami.
No, it's in Miami.
I'm picking Miami then.
All right, I'm going to agree with you. That just gave away my pick for the Louisville game, though, because that game is in Louisville.
No. Spoiler alert, that's where I was headed with it.
Oh, well, good.
Really? You have Miami? I mean, we beat Louisville, for Christ's sake.
It's back-to-back road games before Florida State home.
True. Yeah, true. It's back to, yeah. I was going to say, because even we beat Louisville.
Well, it's going to be an upset. I mean...
And not to mention, I just don't see Miami going 12. I mean, I could see them probably winning 11 games on the schedule, at least 10, but you got to pick losses from somewhere. I mean, you just do. I'm not saying they can't go 12-0, but the chances they do are very low.
I would never pick us to go 12-0. I just think it's that hard to go undefeated.
It absolutely is. I'm with you on that.
Agreed.
All right, so we got. Then you have to travel all the way across the country to Cal. Now I know, Slim, that you've been dying to go to a game at Cal.
I absolutely have.
It's on your bucket list, isn't it?
It somewhere. Or it's in a bucket.
Put in the one.
Oh, this is an easy win. Cal's terrible.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care if it's in California or they played us on the moon. They have no chance. All right. Then so they go from Florida to California, then back to the East Coast, another road game. So back-to-back road games, like Slim was saying a second ago. Miami at Louisville. And I think we already gave our hand away here.
Yeah, at least 2 of us got this picked as the upset.
Yeah.
Because I do think it'll still be an upset because I'm fairly certain Miami will be favored over Louisville.
I originally had Louisville in this game. When I did my predictions, I picked Louisville to beat Miami.
Yeah,
that's all 3 of us.
I think Louisville has a chance of having another good season this year like they did last year, but all things, unless the wheels fall off at Miami and Cam Ward gets hurt and their starting defensive end gets hurt and the running back gets hurt, Miami will be heavily favored in this game, even though it's on the road.
Who did Louisville just grab from the portal as far as QB goes that's going to start for them this year?
I don't know.
Crap. I'm pretty sure it was either a Big Ten QB or an SEC guy. Because their quarterback from last year's gone plumber.
Brett says all field goals in this game.
That's like the Sun Bowl between Pitt and Oregon State.
Joshua says the guy's name is Tyler Sow.
Oh, okay.
Or Tyler So. I don't know how you pronounce that.
Never heard of
Who the hell is that?
Well, there you go. All right, so for our first loss for Miami right now, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 6-1 going into week 7. And doesn't get much easier. Now, we just did the Florida State preview, so you already know who we picked. We all picked Miami in that one, I think. So.
Yeah, I wasn't on here for that one, but yeah, I'd pick Miami in that too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I picked Florida State. Or not Florida State. Crap.
Well, it's a good thing that we did pick them to lose to Louisville because, man, these next 3 they shouldn't have any business losing. Now, here to be fair, we did pick Georgia Tech to upset Florida State, and Miami in recent years has had a hard time with Georgia Tech for whatever reason. So maybe that one, but Duke, well.
Oh, that's being that's a specialty right there. They're calling that the Cuban Bowl.
Well, because of Manny Diaz.
Yeah, Manny, and we're gonna steal a page out of Tennessee and Alabama's book. Whoever wins gets Cuban coffee and a Cuban cigar.
There you go. I'll take the cigar.
Yeah, right.
I think those are legal now, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't think the embargo is in place anymore.
Yeah, I think that happened under Obama. He lifted the embargo, didn't he?
Right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
So smoke them if you got them, folks. And I think, unfortunately for Duke fans, Miami's going to be the one smoking the Cuban cigars in this one.
Agreed.
Right.
So. All right, then like I said, they got to travel to Tech. And we got a couple of buddies going to this game for sure. I know Rec Talk will be there, and I know our boy Sea Dog will be there.
I'll be there.
And you're going.
To that game.
That's right. You said you were going to that. I thought you said for some reason I thought you said you were going to a Tennessee game with somebody. Did you say that? Oh, I might be confusing you with somebody else. Then I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take the kids to that game. I may not be going to the Florida game because those tickets prices have gotten a little out of pocket.
That's why I'm not going to the backyard brawl.
Well, to be fair to Ed, because Ed's upset that we picked Georgia Tech to beat Florida State. You know what? I'll go out on a limb here and say that Miami, for whatever reason, is going to lose to Georgia Tech here because they've had problems with it in the past. Now, I know the rest of you aren't going to agree with that, but
nope.
No.
All right, so another win for Miami. But hey, I went on record as saying Georgia Tech. Yeah, everybody can remember that now. So 11-1 going into the last game of the year, and wow, what a doozy this one is. Now, I know you're higher on Wake Forest than I am. Now, I will give Dave Clawson some credit. He probably does more with less talent than anybody else in the ACC, year in and year out. But I don't really see this being a match. This game is in Miami. So
yeah, I don't see this being terribly close.
It's not even going to be terribly close. It's not even going to be terribly far away. By the time the game's played, it's already over.
Ooh.
Wow.
No respect for the Clawsons.
I know. What's going on? You're a Demon Deaker hater or something?
I don't like them. I don't.
What? I have never heard anybody say that.
I don't. Ever since we beat the crap out of them in the ACC championship, they're like, "Oh, you guys got lucky. You had to play us. If you would have played this team or that team or this squad or that squad," and I'm like, "Just say you suck."
Wow, I've never heard anybody trash talk Wake Forest before. This is something new here for me.
I mean, they got their revenge on us last year. I'll give them that, only because Christian Veyer decided to slide before the first down marker and not after it.
Yeah, and I'm just going to be upfront. I don't know enough about Wake Forest. I know they have a lot of new guys coming in, and maybe they can be coached up, but
I actually, if I'm not mistaken, they returned the least amount of production in the entire ACC at 44%.
Even less than Duke?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, hell, I even thought we returned the least amount of production, but when I crunched the numbers and looked at it, we returned 85% of our roster.
And by the way, I'll even give you a score prediction for that Georgia Tech game, because Sea-Dog, in his infinite wisdom, as soon as he fired up NCAA 25, decided to play Miami and lost 30-14.
I saw that.
I saw that too.
So
I was like,
there's my score prediction for that game.
And after that happened, he made an actual uploaded video where he was saying how hard the game was.
Yeah.
Which I don't know.
I love Sea-Dog. Whenever he rants after he loses, no matter who it was, especially after he lost to Northern Illinois a couple years ago.
Have either of you played that game yet?
No, I have a PS5. I just haven't bought the game.
Okay.
No, I was gonna actually buy the system last week, but my credit card number got stolen, so they had to make me a new credit card. Actually, now it looks like it'll probably be November, because the new Xboxes are coming out in November, and why buy one now when I can get a better version in a couple of months?
Well, because the newer version is going to cost a lot more. The Xbox X is only like $300. The one that's coming out in November is probably going to be $500.
Oh, damn.
A brand new Xbox is like $500.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, the value of the PS5 should go down by the time Xbox comes out. I mean, because that's what I did. I waited.
I'm going to get the updated one in November and just do it that way. Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to pay more for it. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Oh, I know.
My youngest son's already got the Xbox X, so I'm just going to use his.
And actually, if I were to buy a brand new X right now, it's $500. That one that comes out November 6th. So it's an extra $100.
Yeah. I don't care as long as it works. But I've seen a lot of complaints about it being just the gameplay aspect is just like Madden, and of course everybody's mad at Madden for all the glitches on it and all that kind of shit. And then Sea-Dog was complaining about the and I thought you could always change this. Am I wrong? Can't you make whatever button you want do whatever you want it to do?
I'm not sure if you can in Madden.
Well, according to Sea-Dog, I guess you can't, because he was saying like all the buttons are reversed from the old NCAA game, so he gets confused when he's playing it. Like he's I don't know.
Yeah, because he remembers the button layout from a video game 10 years ago.
Yeah, but he's been playing the game for 10 years straight, so he's like conditioned to it.
It's the same layout, though. Literally.
I mean, listen, we talked about that on the midday show. I said this was going to be, gameplay-wise, a reskin Madden, and that's exactly what it is.
It is.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't...
It's the same company with the same engine. It's just going to have different modes to it that the old NCAA games had.
And the other big complaint that I've been hearing a lot, and not just Sea-Dog, but a lot of people say, is how difficult it is to kick. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't played it, but there's got to be a couple people in the chat that have played it. Is kicking as hard as everybody's making it out to be, or are they exaggerating? I did see.
They probably just suck.
There's like
from watching Sea-Dog stream, he was just fucking up.
There's like 3 different things you have to do. You have the little meter on the bottom. You have another meter up at the goalpost that goes up and down. So you have to time the kick with where the meter is on the goalpost. And according to Sea-Dog, even if you hit it exactly where you want it to on the meter down by the kicker, it doesn't go where the point is pointing at. And I'm sitting there thinking, maybe they're just taking account that Georgia Tech has a terrible kicker. I don't
that's what that's from what I've watched from all the people who have played it. It honestly seems like the reason why people are so pissed off is because of how real this game actually is. It's not a game where you can pad the stats and make a player better just by tweaking some settings. No, that's not it. It's if that player sucked the year before, they're gonna suck in the game.
Okay, so according to Levi in the chat, he says kicking against a stadium that has a high difficulty away rating is near impossible. That's interesting. That the stadium would matter.
I heard the stadium was going to have a lot of effect on it.
That's pretty wild.
That's what I'm saying. They're making the game real, as real as possibly could be.
Yeah, although sure I don't even know if in real life does the stadium you're playing in really have that big of effect on kicking? I don't really think so.
I mean, maybe if you're a Florida State kicker.
Or an Alabama kicker.
Right.
Yeah, well, no, until the end of his career, Nick Saban's just like, I don't need a kicker.
I know that's an anomaly. Like they're loaded with 5 stars at every single position, and they can't find a kicker. That's just weird.
That's why I come to the assumption anyway that Nick Saban just didn't give a shit about the kicker.
I don't think most coaches do, to be honest.
Maybe just gives them a reason to go for it on 4th down. Kicker's no good. Go for it.
Well, and you're seeing more of that.
Oh yeah, that's been a trend that's been happening for the past 5 or 6 years, and now, even last year, Dabo started. Dabo he's as far as going for it on 4th down for his entire career at Clemson, he's been very conservative. Last year, I don't know if he just knew they weren't very good, and so he figured, fuck it, I guess, maybe, I don't know. But a lot of times last year, he was going for it on 4th and 5, 4th and 6. He would never do that before.
Yeah, well, we did that a lot in 2019 because, our kicker wasn't very good. But, I say he wasn't good. Coming into that year, he had hit like 85%. And then he missed the game winner in that opening game against Georgia or Florida and got a few death threats. And after that, his percentage just plummeted.
Death threats?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that, yeah. They were all up in his on his social media page, even harassing his family members.
Well,
fucking Miami fans.
Yeah, I was about to say, you said it, not me.
That's why I'm glad I didn't go to school to play college football. I just went to school for heating and ventilation, and that was it.
Well, just don't go to Miami.
That kind of shit happens with high school football in Miami. I mean, somebody bumbles a play and loses a big game in high school. I've literally heard of guys having to get police escorts home.
It's happened here in Pennsylvania. The biggest thing here in PA is high school football.
I thought death threats only happened in soccer in third world countries. I guess not.
Death threats are happening in soccer. I wonder what happened to the popularity of football.
Did y'all see the mess that was you probably did, Slim, the mess that was created at Hard Rock when they had the Argentina versus Argentina versus Colombia final Copa America match?
People hopping the fence, people going through fucking ventilation.
They broke the escalator in there too. Yeah.
Well, how do you break an escalator?
I don't know. They managed to do it, though.
I understand stopping an escalator. I know you can do that, but breaking the whole thing, goddamn.
That was a while. I saw a couple of videos when they took the approach of they can't stop us all if we just rush them. Like some of us are going to get through, and that's what happened.
Right.
Yeah. I would like to go to a soccer match, but I wouldn't want to go to something like that where I'm going to get trampled. Fuck all that.
I'll pass on that.
Yeah, I got enough problems. I don't need those. Oh. So we got Miami at 11-1 and Florida State at 8-4. Boy, Florida State fans can be big mad about that, but hey, that's why we do this show.
Did we miss a game?
Huh?
Don't they play Syracuse last? Didn't we miss a game?
Did I miss a game? Oh, you're right. Sorry.
I don't remember us talking about Syracuse.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right. 11-1 because they're.
Yeah, I'm still.
Despite some of the online rumors that, and I get it. Like if you go through Syracuse's schedule, it's probably even worse than Louisville's last year. So I think Syracuse will probably win a couple more games than what some people are thinking, but not Miami.
Yeah, another team with a new coach.
New quarterback. Not a bad one, actually. Not even close to being a bad one.
Kyle McCord is not as bad as Ohio State fans try and make
I agree with you 110%.
Yeah.
He got a lot more blame than he deserved last year for them, for sure.
Well, and I think some of the heat has got to do with, as much like DJ, has got to do with his dad.
Oh, he has one of those dads?
His dad's all up in his business all the time, making decisions for him.
Apparently, his dad was all up in Ryan Day's business.
Oh, man, those are the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Like, wanting a guarantee that his son was going to be the starting QB next year.
I'm pretty sure DJ's dad was one reason that Dabo wasn't too sad that DJ left. You know what I mean?
You think that's why McCord transfer is because of his dad? Or do you think Ryan Day was like, your dad's too much, you got to go?
I don't know. Probably a bit of both. But shout out to DJ's dad, man. That dude, if you don't follow him on Twitter, you need to. Because that dude has now managed to get into it with 3 fan bases on the internet. The
problem is, though, if you get it, he doesn't really have a back and forth with you. He just blocks you.
Yeah.
Oh, no. There was a clip running around. He was in a space with some Florida State fans.
I heard that.
Threatening to kill somebody.
Yeah. But if you
I saw the clip.
If you leave a negative comment or any kind of criticism about DJ and he sees it, he'll just block you. Especially if you tag him in it. He doesn't. Now, if you get him on a space, he might talk shit to you, but he doesn't talk shit back through text. He just hits the block button. I mean, I think probably about 90% of the Clemson Twitter fan base has been blocked by him, and probably the same with Oregon State too, if I had to guess.
Well, now he's working his way through the Florida State fan base.
Well, he's gonna add one more because I'm gonna do it just to piss him off.
Yeah. Well, it's not hard. I promise you that.
No. It really isn't.
And I do it. I mean, even Slim follows me on Twitter. He sees some of the things I post, and I've told people multiple times, when I post something on Twitter, it's not because I actually believe what's coming out of my mouth. It's because of how you react.
Yeah, don't tell people that. Just do it.
Oh, well, I mean, even when I do tell people that, it's still great. It's probably why no Pitt fan likes me.
Well,
they don't. They really don't. I'm extremely hated in the Pitt fan base.
Didn't DJ's dad in that space, didn't he threaten to beat him up or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if I see you, I would rip your head off or some shit like that.
Yeah. You ain't about that life.
Yeah, about that life.
Yeah. I've never gone that far unless somebody said something derogatory about my kid, which is why I no longer post pictures of my daughter on Twitter.
Well, when DJ first committed to Clemson, he blocked his own dad on Twitter.
He blocked his own.
He blocked his own dad
on Twitter. That should tell you enough.
Well, he just didn't want to read what he was saying.
Oh.
Yeah.
That still should tell you enough. I
mean, yeah.
God, Jesus Christ, your own kid. It's like what's that Hawaii's old head coach name that was just in the news? Todd Graham.
Yeah.
His son left the program because he said my dad's psychotic. Literally. And Todd Graham used to coach Pitt. He used to be the head coach for Pitt.
That would have to be one of the most difficult things about coaching college football is some of the crazy parents,
Or coaching your own kids.
You had the whole thing last year of Mario blowing up on some parents.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Which I completely agree with what he was saying. If you don't like it here, we ain't forcing nobody to be here.
Yeah, if you don't like it here, there's the door. Yeah.
Pat Narduzzi said the same thing. 2 days later, Jordan Addison's gone.
Yeah, shout out to Baby Gronk's dad. Yeah, he's on a mission too, isn't he?
Yeah, they brought us into the mix too. Whenever he said Baby Gronk flips the Pitt, every Pitt fan was like, "No, we don't want you. Goodbye."
I think he's been committed to 123 out of 132 teams.
Yeah, by the end of this season, it'll be all 132 teams.
Yeah,
plus some.
And he might. Then he's have to start committing to FCS teams and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, he'll be committed to South Dakota State at some point, or North Dakota State, or whichever one it is.
He'll commit to Carnegie Mellon next, D3 school.
How old is that kid? He's like 12 or something?
14.
14. Oh, he's 14.
I think 13,
there was
14.
a video of him getting cooked by somebody that was running
He's
around for a
slow.
little while.
Have you seen him? I mean, like his release. I played tight end in high school. I wasn't that big. I was only about 180 pounds. So I'm way underweight to be a tight end. But him, you could just he should be a guard at best. He should not be playing a skilled position.
Well, we'll see how big he actually gets once he matures some.
I mean, well, you can tell he's got size on him already, but that's probably why he's so slow, is because of how big he is.
Dad's so crazy, he's probably feeding his 14-year-old son steroids for all we know.
Oh, probably. All the Mexican supplements.
Yeah. All right, so we do it. So officially now, officially 11-1 for Miami. So there you go. And we're always right. So I'm sorry if you're mad about what we picked.
Yeah, facts don't care about your feelings.
Yeah.
No.
Although I could see Miami dropping another game they shouldn't win there too. I mean, it's just what they've done in the recent years. But even so, I'd say probably at worst 10-2, and that will most likely get them into the ACC championship game either way.
No.
More than likely. I just hope
I have them
enough to be there in the end too.
I have them in the ACC title game, but my dark horse to go to the ACC is Virginia Tech.
I've heard a lot of people say Miami against Virginia Tech in the ACC championship, Miami against NC State in the ACC championship. Obviously, there's still some people that believe that Clemson will be the one to play them, but it'll be one of those three teams, I think.
Yeah. I'm sure somebody's mad because we're not giving any love to Florida State.
Well, yeah, of course they are.
What was Pete? What was your prediction for the Clemson and Pitt game?
We haven't done either Clemson or Pitt yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because that's at Heinz Field or Accushire this year, which I don't understand. As much as I love when Clemson came up here, because I went to that game, and I went to the one in 2016, I would seriously love to go back down to Death Valley. It was the best environment I've ever been a part of.
What year is that?
2016.
Oh, so of course you're happy about that.
Well, it wasn't even that.
You won.
Just, you guys are. Well, yeah. None of us expected us to win. We all came down here just for Southern hospitality, which we got. Don't get me wrong. I didn't have to pay for one goddamn beer the whole entire time I was down there.
Hey, man, climbing that upper deck is not very hospitable.
I was about to say, where'd you sit?
Not. Upper deck. I was just about to bring that up. You guys can take your upper deck and shove it up your ass.
Yeah. I agree with you there. But we did go on to win the national championship that year, so the loss doesn't feel that bad to me at this point.
No.
Yeah, right.
It did a lot for our program for the next 3 years, though.
We put in. Listen, if us going 10-2 and dropping one to Virginia Tech and we rematch them in the ACC title game,
mm-hmm.
I'd feel better about a rematch if we lost to them in the regular season.
Yeah, I think whoever's in the ACC title game will actually eventually have already played each other during the regular season. That's the way I see it going down.
Probably, because, I mean, Clemson plays both NC State, Virginia, and Virginia Tech as well. Now, if they play Miami in the ACC championship, we don't play each other in the regular season.
No, we don't even play Miami in the regular season. We're not slated to play Miami for the next 5 years.
I think Clemson and Miami have played 3 out of the past 4 years in the regular season, which is pretty rare. Well, one of them was because of the COVID year, and that was a weird schedule. Yeah.
Well, we got Notre Dame for the next 10 years straight. Whoever decided that was a good idea is stupid. After this year, we got Notre Dame for like 7 or 8 years straight, every single year.
I would be so happy with that.
I mean, I am, but I'm also not. I mean, Notre Dame kicks our ass almost every single time we played them. Now, we have managed to beat them while we were in the ACC the year we joined the ACC, but that's it.
I don't know that I'd trust any schedule 7 years out in the ACC right now with the with the possibility of some teams leaving.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, there's rumors that the ACC is trying to poach teams from both the Big Ten and the Big 12.
That the ACC is?
Yeah.
Why, let me ask you this. Why would anybody leave the Big Ten to come to the ACC and get up half the amount of money?
That's exactly what I said. And I even said the same thing about the Big 12. Like, you guys are going to be making the same amount of money, if not less.
Yeah, that's not – the Big Ten thing's not happening.
If they get some more to join, then they can renegotiate that TV contract.
True. Yeah, true.
Still, I don't see.
I just don't see it. I
don't want that to happen because who we get fucking. I mean, the bottom feeders is who we get. Yeah. Just like we got from the Pac-12.
The bottom feeders. I mean, well, according to the Big 12 fan base, they don't have any bottom feeders.
Well, I actually do like the SMU edition.
I mean, it doesn't bother me. The California teams is just stupid, though.
Yeah. I mean, well, like if they go and pick up somebody like Memphis, I wouldn't be mad about it.
No, I've been saying that for years.
Yeah.
I would welcome Memphis. But yeah, that'd be great.
Well, I mean, SMU taps the ACC into the Texas TV market.
I wouldn't mind App State either.
Of course, too, if the committee decides to leave out a 10-win Notre Dame, I mean, they're going to be begging everybody with a conference to join one.
Yeah.
They're going to have to soon. I don't see how much longer Notre Dame can keep up being independent, but using the ACC for piggyback wins, gimme wins.
Until the committee leaves them out?
Yeah. That's just what I hate about Notre Dame. Like, you piggyback off the ACC in every other sport but football. Why not? Are you afraid that you'll never win a conference?
Well, they did the same thing with the Big Ten for years. That's why I don't think they'll end up there, because a lot of people still think they will. There's still some hard feelings there between the Big Ten and Notre Dame.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like it's like Florida, or not Florida State. Who has bad blood with the SEC? Is it Florida State?
Well, I
don't
think
know if it's bad blood.
Yeah, I think it's everybody in the ACC has bad blood with the SEC.
Well, I mean, because there was, if I'm not mistaken, there was somebody from the ACC who was looking to join the SEC years ago.
Oh,
the SEC's tried to pick up Florida State a couple of times.
Yeah.
Okay.
They turned them down.
Oh, so it's not the SEC that's the problem, it's Florida State.
The same thing happened with Clemson at the same time. And Clemson might have eventually joined the SEC, but they got voted down.
So you can join a conference.
South Carolina's the one that kept them out of it.
You can join a conference, but if everybody else votes no, you technically are not it.
Yeah, there's a vote on it, but
that's stupid.
Well, and I think the SEC has a rule where, like, a founding member can overrule. Like, that's why A&M couldn't stop Texas, because they weren't one of the founding members. I mean, Florida would probably vote against Florida State or Miami ever joining that.
Well, I do know that Clemson, they're a founding member of the ACC, and they voted against both California teams joining the ACC, and they still made it in. They might have been the only team that did. I don't know.
I mean, maybe just the SEC has that rule. I don't know.
Right.
We voted yes for SMU, but no for Cal and Stanford.
I have no clue how Miami voted. I really don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was being told. But then again, what you're told could actually be completely different from what actually happened. I don't trust the media sports outlet over here. I don't.
I don't trust any media outlet. I mean,
well, it's so bad. For instance, Kenny Pickett didn't do very well with the Steelers. I mean, he's been gone for months, and people are still talking about him. Like, get over it. He's gone. He's where he should have went to the first place. He should have went to Philly. He should have never went to the Steelers. And I hate the Steelers. Hate them. Green Bay fan.
Oh.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Cal is going to be the ACC's new punching bag. Yeah, not only are they bad, but their travel schedule is absolutely brutal.
Brutal. Some people actually had the nerve to sit up there and say we're going to lose to Cal because we went 3-9 last year. I'm like, okay, we went 3-9 and still beat Louisville by double digits. What's your point? We're not even the Cal fans that I talked to on Twitter. They're like that travel schedule is absolutely too brutal, especially going to Pitt because they're coming here. They're losing that game.
Cal fans on the internet.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I've never seen one.
People
that's like finding a unicorn.
Well, that's what people said about our fan base. People were like, "There's no Pitt fans on the internet." I'm like, "Hello."
No, there definitely are some Pitt fans on the internet, but I've never seen a Cal one. Not that they don't exist, but they're not very active on social media. If that's the case, now maybe I'll see them more now because they're in the ACC. You know how the algorithm works and all that. But
Well, I think they're active on the internet, just not about Cal football.
Right.
Well, what other sport are they active about?
I don't think he's talking about sports.
No. Yeah, true. No.
He's talking about everything else. Yeah.
All them fucking blue-haired land whale hippies over there.
I knew this was coming.
I'm gonna leave it at that. I still need Dabo to walk out on that field carrying a cross, though, just to set them all off.
That would he would be automatically reach GOAT status if he did that.
Oh, he would. Listen, I would call Dabo the GOAT for doing that.
You wouldn't do that.
The ultimate troll.
Yeah, he wouldn't do that.
Unfortunately, no.
And we don't play them this year.
No, yeah, well, it'd be a couple of years before y'all did.
But we do play. Well, shit. I think we play the other two though. I know we play Stanford and Clemson. I think we might play SMU too. I can't remember.
Pitt doesn't play Stanford. I don't think. No, they don't.
I tell you what, you give. I like Brett Lashley. You give SMU a couple of years to kind of get acclimated to the, now Power Four. I think they're going to be all right. Because, like most teams in Texas, they don't have a problem with NIL. Hell, SMU's graduated 5 billionaires in the last decade.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think give them a few years, they'll be a legit team in the conference. Now they did sacrifice the first 2 years of revenue. They're playing for free.
Shit, I think it's longer than that. I think it's like 5 or 6.
Yeah, it's like 5 or 6, but they just raised $200 million to kind of offset those costs.
That still kind of stings.
I know it does. You come into a conference and sacrifice money all to just raise it all over again.
Yeah, well, it's like Slim said, they got like 5 billionaires, so they're not hurting. They're not hurting in that aspect.
They got a decent recruiting class though. That's the thing. SMU, I've been seeing they've been pulling in 4 stars left and right. They actually just flipped a 4-star from somebody, and maybe a Big 12 school they flipped it from. He was a 4-star quarterback that's committed to SMU.
Well, I know they lost a 4-star quarterback to Alabama.
And then they lost one to Alabama. So they flipped somebody and then lost that one that they after that. I'm pretty sure that's the reason why that person went to Alabama.
And I mean, they have some talent now. Like that's where, because Rhett Lashley was the OC at Miami, a lot of the guys that Mario ran out of there, kind of purging the room a little bit. A lot of them ended up at SMU. A lot of them ended up at UCF.
Yeah.
I mean, SMU, they're going to go bowling this year. But whether that's a 6-win bowl team, 7, or I don't see them honestly winning more than 7 games.
I don't either.
I don't even think I don't.
I haven't. It's still going to be a struggle for them this year.
It is. It definitely is. I mean, as good as talent as they have now, they also lost a crap ton of talent too.
Oh.
So, and like Pete said, it's a transition period.
It's a transition period. They're gonna have to do well recruiting and in the transfer portal to get there in 2 or 3 years, where they want to be.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't know anything about the transfer portal. I'm a Clemson fan, so.
Dabo lost his login and password.
Yeah, I saw somebody type that earlier.
I don't get it, man. And listen, I think Dabo is a great football coach.
Yeah.
But I think he's gonna. I think if he keeps this up, he's gonna push himself right into irrelevance.
You have to adapt.
I would tend to agree.
But a quick question before you go, Pete. Pitt got one of your players, and I wanted to know what you thought about him. David Ojebwe, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
What was he poised to make noise this season for y'all?
No, that's why he left.
Oh, he wasn't. I didn't know how far he was on the depth chart or anything like that. I couldn't really find too much information, and for whatever reason, Clemson.
I mean, probably best case scenario, he would have been second string. He wasn't a starter.
Okay.
So.
But he's not. He's actually not pegged as a starter here either.
See,
he's not. The Kansas State guy, Nate Matlack, we got is going to be starting.
Yeah.
You know who else hasn't locked up the starting position? One Tyler Van Dyke.
Really?
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah, he's not. From what I'm reading, he's up and down in practice. One day he'll do good, next day he'll do bad. Next day you'll look like you have no clue what you're doing, and then the next day you look like a Heisman.
Well, that sounds exactly like what we saw last year at Miami. I mean,
yeah.
Which is why he is where he is.
I'll take 7 interceptions out of Cam Ward over the 11-4 games from Van Dyke.
How many more years of eligibility does he have left?
2.
2?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So we played.
So I think this is it for Van Dyke.
It's hard to keep up with because of the 2020 year. Just everyone's got that extra year, but I think.
This is his last year.
I think Slim's right. Yeah, it's last year.
Yeah, because the first year he started in 2021, you guys, Miami beat us. And that was the first time of me hearing about him because I didn't know who he was before the game. Found out really quickly afterwards.
Eric King got hurt.
Yeah, and he did extremely well. But see, and that's what I think about Tyler and Van Dyke. I think the same of him as I do DJ. They're better off as backups.
Well, I think Van Dyke's problem is, and this is just, me viewing it obviously from afar as a fan. I think, at least for last year, because he looked on track to do the same thing in 22 before he got injured.
Yeah,
I think he was trying to force it way too much to try and recreate what he did in 21.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many games did he start in 21?
6.
Okay.
I think he's definitely talented. I think his problem was he, a lot like Klubnik did last year, was trying to do too much.
Yeah. I think he was trying to do too much. And listen, until Miami quits doing this, I'm going to harp on it. I mean, 4 offensive coordinators and 2 head coaches in your time is not a recipe for success for anybody.
Yeah, and now a third head coach because he's transferred in another scheme.
Right.
Yeah. It's gonna be rough.
Which would further explain why he's having troubles.
Yeah.
He didn't do that at Clemson. Did you guys go through a lot of OCs when he was there?
Are you talking about DJ?
Yeah.
No.
Hmm.
And he went through an OC change, but it was basically still running the same offense.
Yeah, I mean, we went from Elliott to from Elliott to Streeter, but Streeter was already on the offensive staff, so it wasn't really that much of a difference. It was the same offense. So
he's going to be the same quarterback he's always been.
Yeah, I think right. I mean, we've got a 3-year starting sample size, and every year is almost identical.
Yeah.
Statistically.
Yeah.
So I think he is who he is. And again, I've said this 1,000 times, but I like DJ. I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like him now. He plays for Florida State, but you know what I mean.
I mean, that Notre Dame game broke him.
I've got no reason to think DJ's an asshole or something.
No, he's not. He's good. He's a good guy. I like him as a person. I just don't. I think he's an average quarterback at best. Sometimes below average.
I wouldn't say Notre Dame broke him. I mean, he passed for 450 against Notre Dame.
That was the best game of his career.
Well, what I mean by broke him, Slim, is not like may have destroyed his confidence to be a starting quarterback. I mean, because after that game, that's when you slowly started seeing him go downhill every single game.
He didn't play after that.
I mean, the following season, not that same season. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm about to say he was only in there because Trevor Lawrence tested positive for COVID.
Yeah, that is, yeah. Now, do people still count that Notre Dame conference title as a conference title win?
Who? They lost.
I honestly thought they won. I really thought they won.
No, the Clemson beat them that year.
Okay.
No, Notre Dame won in the regular season, even though DJ threw for like 4.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm getting it confused. Okay.
Yeah. Notre Dame won at home in South Bend against Clemson, and then Clemson won the championship game.
Okay. Kind of brings us back to the point we were talking about earlier. Whoever is playing in the regular season will end up playing each other in the title game.
Right. Well, we'll see about that. I don't know. It's with the new scheduling and everything, it's really hard to predict if there's going to be a rematch or not.
Well, yeah, there's no divisions anymore.
Right.
Yeah. It's wide open now. Honestly, I think the ACC is more of anybody's to take than it was before.
Well, I don't know about that, but I think that there is more teams that possibly could make it to the ACC championship this year than in the years past. Yeah. There's probably 5 teams that you really have to look out for. So,
we are not one of them.
Unfortunately for you, I think you're right. Not this year.
No, we're not. I'm not saying we're going to be worse this year than last year. No, we're definitely going bowling. I'm picking 8 wins. That's the most. 8-4.
Again, I haven't done Pitt's record prediction yet, but probably around that. Yeah, you won't be near as bad as you were last year. That was an anomaly, I think.
Well, you look at the last 2 games of the year for Pitt, Boston College, Duke. Nate Yarnell within those 2 games, Phil Dracovic had 818 yards passing on the season. Very, very, very bad. In those 2 games, Nate Yarnell had 80% of those yardages.
Yeah, Dracovic was a disaster.
He was a jerk. He's an asshole. He should have been a tight end. I even said that when he came out of high school.
Was he a jerk because all the fans were coming down on him constantly and he just got pissed off?
Both. Honestly, I think it's both. Because I've seen quarterbacks, believe it or not, do worse for us and never take the heat that he's gotten. And I think it's because he was a hometown kid.
Yeah, well. He wasn't good enough to start at Notre Dame. Then he transferred to Boston College, wasn't any good there. Then he went to Pitt, wasn't any good there. He's just not any good.
He's not. Well, he's a quarterback that should have been a tight end. Because he can catch, believe it or not. He is a very good catcher and a very good route runner. Even people at the because he got invited to the combine, and people are like, "Oh, okay."
Who was that? Who was that terrible quarterback that Notre Dame had that he couldn't even win the job from him? I can't remember the guy's name now.
From Jerkovic?
Yeah, that's the reason he transferred to Boston College. I forget the guy's name now. He was mediocre quarterback too, and he couldn't even win the starting job from him. Thank you, Jackpot. Tyler Buckner. That's who I'm thinking about.
Yes, that's
I was about to say, is it the one that's now a lacrosse player?
Yeah, lacrosse player.
Well, we got for a year and then transferred back to Notre Dame to play lacrosse.
Jesus Christ!
It's funny. It's funny you bring up Alabama because that's who our backup quarterback is this year. Is a kid from Alabama, Eli Holstein, transfer from Bama to Pitt. But I think he's going to end up taking over the spot if Nate Yarnell does one thing wrong. As if you look at our spring game, oh my God, Eli Holstein is he should be the starter. I'll just say that. He should be. For a guy who's 6'5", 240 pounds, and can run a 4.5, he should be the starter.
Well, guys, I got to shut the show down, and I got to piss like something serious anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and shut it down now.
All right.
All right. I appreciate both of you coming on and filling in for our boy Sea-Dog, who's at a concert right now. So.
Oh, so that's where he is. He's not losing on 25. Okay, got it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate you.
No problem.
All right. All right, yeah, guys, that's going to do it for me. Thanks for tuning into the ACC show. I'll be live tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. on my second channel. If you're not subscribed to that, do that now. There's a link to it in the description of this live stream here. And I'll see you then. Have a great Tuesday.